Welcome to Turn to Your Neighbor. This is the Christian Talk Show where we talk about the church, music, movies, social media, and a whole lot more. My name is Cliff, and this is Tamika. Oh, it'd be helpful if I took you off mute. Now you good. Hey. Sorry.
Hi, neighbors.
My bad.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on?
Yeah, my bad. This is Dre, y'all.
He already trying to take your voice. See what you doing? Part of the patriarchy.
You know that's what my take is on today.
Oh no, I don't even know. I did not know. Hold on. What up, neighbors? Good to see y'all. Black Santa Gang in the building. Our time, stand up. Hope y'all doing well. Batten down the hatches. Winter is here. That's all I got to say.
Our time, stand up. Are you talking about that social network for old people?
Man, gang, we in the building. This is our time of year. We out here doing it.
Okay.
It's the Black Santa Gang.
Yeah.
I
gang all day.
I just had to clarify.
We out here doing it
to make sure you wasn't talking about the
that was network. Hilarious.
You out here making moves.
Yeah. Why are you encouraging him, Tamika? You know about Black Santa Gang. Why?
Because that was the randomest connect.
So he said our time. I'm like, what's our time? He didn't say this is our time, stand up. He's like, our time, stand up. It's just
I didn't know that was a real thing, first of all.
You've seen the commercial. Don't do that.
I haven't.
You be watching TV at night where they play those commercials.
All right. It's all good.
You be watching CBS and stuff.
Okay. What's up to all the neighbors out there? Appreciate y'all for hanging with us tonight. If you're watching, those who are watching us live and those of you catching us on demand, we appreciate all of y'all hanging with us tonight. Do me a favor right now, neighbors. Please share. If you're watching on demand, you can still share. It's okay. Those of you watching us live, still share. It's a bunch of y'all in here. Hit like. You can at least hit like. Do something. Like, share, something.
Sharing is caring.
That's true. I never actually let me like that. Yeah.
Come on. There you go. Come on.
It's always a thrill for me when I come in the room and I read like the preview. So I have an idea what's going to happen for that week's show, just to see what direction Cliff is taking us down. See what we're going to be doing this week.
You have plenty of opportunity to have your input. I'm saying.
The executive producer, just to see what he has in mind for this week and see what direction we going.
It was never intended for me to just decide what we talk about.
You're the EP, baby. I follow your lead.
It was never in the intent.
Cliff is truly the captain.
100%.
And neighbors, let me tell you, thank God.
Yo.
Thank God.
There's a lot of hatred. There's a lot of unnecessary spite.
I'm just saying that is
directed my way.
That's Cliff's lane.
That is Cliff's lane.
Oh, man.
Definitely.
All right. So let's get to it. Oh, no random tangent today. Okay.
I did have random tangents, but I'm trying to save them.
Cliff, that's every time you say that.
Yo.
Well, I know he has it, but the fact that we got this
that's the little trigger.
I'm gonna save it for later, because there's been this clip floating around of the Real Housewives of Potomac or whatever, of the reunion show, and Jamal Bryant's ex-wife is on there, and evidently she's been a jerk on the show, and one of the people she was bullying called her out on multitude of levels and put all Jamal Bryant's business out there. Such as he may have another baby on the way, something. Just something light. I just want to drop that nugget there. So I have to watch the show to see what's really happening. But hey, man, these pastors out here pimping on a.
Whoa!
I'm not allowed to say pimping pastors.
I just think that that's a mischaracterization of what's happening. Okay. These are men who happen to be pastors, right? This don't have nothing to do with the other, I think.
Okay.
These are men who happen to be pastors, but he also happens to be a college-educated Black man who's straight and wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the pastor part is like the afterthought. So I don't think that's the main reason why. If he wasn't a pastor, this would still be a problem.
Okay.
It would still be a problem, and he would still have opportunity. I'll put it like that.
Well, he has admitted that he, quote, has a problem with his flesh. Like he has openly admitted that on TV.
So that has nothing to do with him being a pastor, right?
I'm not saying that makes it better. The brother knows he has a challenge, and he's known this for years.
I would say that our dynamic, that the pedestal that some pastors are put on.
Up in your throat. See, talking about people, that's what happens. You talk about the man of God.
God don't play.
God don't like the fact that you talked about his chosen one.
See?
Yo, it's gonna be all day today. Yo, I tell you what, I took that. I changed my relationship with Xfinity. Life ain't been the same since. Life has not been. They mad at me. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go to Xfinity and repent.
To something, or just start running the Ethernet cable.
Wow.
Just start running.
It's Ethernet like that.
Cable. Yeah.
It's like that. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Do you still own one of those? We do live in the boonies, though.
No, I need to find one. I gotta buy a long one.
Best Buy.
But yeah, my issue.
Circuit City.
I'm gonna go to Amazon and get something.
They took all the Ethernet cord.
But yeah, that's the only aside I have right now. But okay, I might have some more later on. Let's go.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Right. So I'm sure y'all familiar with when COVID first hit. Well, not when it first hit, but soon after when COVID hit, the United States government started handing out these personal protection loans, PPP loans, to help businesses and pay their people and stay afloat, whatever. And there was a lot of ministries that took advantage of it, rightfully so. Go out there and get your coin from the government. One such ministry / business was the Daystar TV network. And the reason why I'm bringing up the Daystar TV network, and these are the founders, Marcus and Joni Lamb. Daystar TV took a PPP loan in the sum of $3.9 million. And then 2 weeks later, they have a private jet. Now, to their credit, and of course, the reporter called them out on this. So a reporter says, you got a private jet, but you took a PPP loan. What's up with that? And now they claim that the money was not the money they took from the government was not used to pay for the jet.
It was other money.
It was other money that they said. They said they had other money that they used for this jet.
Maybe they have multi-businesses like we discussed last week. Different streams of income.
This is completely different.
That's not it.
I think.
And they're
not a ministry. They are a TV network. So are they a for-profit? They're probably a for-profit business.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how.
I mean, they're a gospel or Christian themed network, but they're probably a Christian focused for-profit network, or for-profit business. So that makes them different from Transformation Church, I think.
Well, when the reporter asked them what are they using the jet for, and the reporter quote says church business only, and then they responded absolutely.
Church. Do they have a church?
I don't know, but another magazine reported that they saw this family this Lamb family used the jet for vacations. That was reported that the Lamb family used a jet for vacations to Florida. The ministry is based in Texas, but they have since paid back the government. Let me make that clear. They paid back the government with interest, so they have their jet, which was like a 1997 jet, but they have since paid back the government.
Oh, my brother.
Yes.
So what I'm seeing here is, in his letter, Daystar's marketing director points out the IRS has recognized Daystar as a church from the network's inception.
Okay.
He has a Daystar regularly conducts
TV network,
marriages, funerals, baptisms, and communions like any other church.
So it's owned by, but this is where it gets juicy.
Okay.
Everybody put on your Murder, She Wrote hats.
Okay. Take us down the path.
Murder She Wrote hat or a tinfoil hat? Which direction you going?
It says that the Daystar Television Network is owned by Word of God Fellowship.
Okay.
That's the parent company.
Okay.
So what you really have to do, right? You got your detective hat on, you follow the money. You have to figure out what is Word of God Fellowship.
Okay. This is a whole path we are going down here.
It's a whole, they own Daystar. They are the parent company. See, this is how it all, happens.
Right.
You have a thing, but it's owned by another thing. And then that thing is owned by another thing. And then that thing is owned by 3 other companies. And one of them is in the Cayman Islands and it doesn't really exist.
Have you been on some Netflix documentaries recently? Or you just yes. Oh, really? Okay. I was joking. Okay.
Documentaries are actually my thing. But this is how it happens. I'm glad they paid it back. But here's the thing. What's wrong with flying commercial to do the Lord's work?
Oh, we've already been down this path before with Pastor Creflo Dollar. He has given us the reason. He has said that Delta and United don't keep his schedule. He has a certain schedule where it's more advantageous for him to fly private.
And remember the other guy? What was the guy? The one pastor who basically barked at the woman when she
the dude who blew away COVID-19.
Yeah, he blew away and laughed at Trump not being reelected.
Kenneth Copeland.
Kenneth Copeland. There we go. Yes, he got addressed for his purchase of private jets as well. So
he bought his jet from Tyler Perry.
He's a whole different. He's got the money. Now, how he got it is a whole other thing, but he doesn't need any loans. He has the money to afford that. If you can afford it, you know what? If you want to be Cardi B out here buying $88,000 purses, then do you, boo. But don't use taxpayer dollars.
Right.
Well, and then try to justify it by, okay, they gave it back because to me, that's an acknowledgement that it was wrong in the first place. Because this is a want. You don't need a private jet.
Yeah, to advocate for the other side, a lot of businesses.
Here we go.
No, I'm saying a lot of businesses took PPP money and did not use it because, and I don't know if any neighbors in here are accountants or anything or own businesses, but a lot of businesses were advised just ask for the money, just get your money, and then kind of sort out how exactly you're going to use it later. It's like the LA Lakers took PPP money and they gave theirs back. So like other businesses just took it just in case.
I also think some people thought that stuff really wasn't going to come get them loans. They said loan in the title. And they now coming for their money.
Pay it back if you used it for certain things. Like I think if you used it to pay employees, for example, you didn't have to pay it back. So it's not the same kind of it's a specific kind of loan. It's not just like any old kind of loan. But there were people who were not supposed to get the stimulus check. So this is a little different, but connected, who actually got the stimulus check. There is a woman who lives in, I'm going to get the country wrong. Let's say it's New Zealand. She doesn't live in the United States is the point.
Okay.
This is a real story. She received a stimulus check. She has not lived in the United States in over 10 years. She is not a United States citizen. She does not pay taxes in the United States. The IRS sent her a stimulus check because years ago, she worked in the state of California. And so she gets a tiny Social Security check because of that. And so the IRS sent her a check. She called back and was like, yo, y'all sent me this money. How many other people are you sending this money to? And so at first, the IRS, of course, says it's not our fault. All these people who are getting stimulus checks that aren't supposed to get them, it's because they did not file their taxes properly. This woman has not filed taxes in the United States in years. So then they were like, it's our fault. So send the money back.
Yeah, you get that back to us.
That was just a blessing from God. She should have accepted her blessing. She
go ahead and Venmo us that. Go ahead, put that. Hey,
So
man.
I have not reached the point in ministry. I guess I need to rethink how I've ever done ministry because I have not gotten to the point where I qualify to get a private jet.
Yeah, if you don't have private jet ministry, are you really ministering?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
what's wrong? Are you really hearing from God? If you can't afford
that level, huh?
Is God really using you or not? I mean, like,
that's behind the veil.
You can't
see. You got to get
jet. Is you really anointed though? If you ain't got a jet,
are you really believing if you don't have a jet? That's my question. That's my question. Hey, brother, whatever. God bless all these cats, man.
All right, so we're gonna move on. Do you guys remember? I'm not sure if y'all were into Nickelodeon when y'all were kids. If y'all ever watch All That and Kenan and Kel, right?
Yeah.
So you remember the dude Kel, the dude who was the guy from Good Burger, Kel Mitchell. This brother I didn't know this, but this brother has been called to the ministry within the last year. And yeah, the brother is, I'll tell you, he is the, let me see, he's assistant pastor, youth pastor at, trying to figure out the name of it, youth pastor at Spirit Food Christian Center in Los Angeles. So my brother Kel is now part of the ministry, believes that God called him to the ministry. So he's still kind of doing the entertainment acting thing. I think he's going to be on some kind of food game show coming up that's airing soon. But now Brother Kel is part of the ministry.
I respect this. I respect it specifically because he didn't jump right into running his own church. Because there are some people who conflate the popularity of their former positions with, yes, I automatically should be somebody's whole pastor. Like, no. And like you can work your way up the ladder here as well. Learn the ministry, learn what it is to be a leader, leader, servant leader. But yes, hey, God bless the brother. I hope he still loves orange soda. And
the neighbors are out of control.
The neighbors already went in the orange soda. As soon as I said Kel, the neighbors were starting to type.
My goodness.
Yo,
you know what? For being a youth pastor, that's like one of the hardest jobs. So I give respect to that. If you are starting there, I think that is not an easy job. A lot of people don't want to do it. And some people see that as a demotion or not an honorable thing. But I think if you can be youth pastor, you can do a lot. So, yeah, kudos to him. But did you say that the church was called Spirit Food?
Yeah, it's Spirit Food Christian Center in Los Angeles.
This is interesting.
See,
you know, these new age church names.
It's it's not new age. I mean, looking at the pictures, like it's not like his pastor's not Pastor Billy. Like his pastor looks like, is Reverend Johnson or somebody like that. Like this.
Oh, he got a nice suit on in his front page. This is a real place. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
Winnetka or LA. Winnetka, California.
Okay. Well, it's a thing.
Our purpose is to feed the spirits of those who hunger and thirst.
Come on.
After righteousness.
Free promotion. Come on.
That's a little too literal for me. Okay. But okay, I'm not mad at it. That wouldn't keep me from going, but that's a little literal.
Well, let's address that really quickly.
Address what?
All right, she's just touched upon a very important point. Would you not attend a church because of their name?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate your honesty. That's all I needed. That's all I needed.
So, I mean, because why would you? Yeah, you probably wouldn't even, especially in this day and age, because you're just searching online, you see his name, and you're like, no.
That's all I needed.
Well, I have been to some weird churches, though. I'm telling y'all, all churches out here aren't churches. There's a lot of things calling them churches, and I have been to them that aren't what any of us would identify as a church. And you're like, this is like a cult that meets on Sundays. How did I get here? Okay, no, thank you. Don't want the grape juice. I'm out.
So to answer your question, now I think about it, I would not attend a church based on it. I wouldn't the name would make me not look at that church, not look into that church.
Can I get
as somebody who has moved, like 3 different states the last couple years? When I was looking for churches after I left State College, I knew the kind of church I wanted, and I didn't want to go to a church that had 5 names. Like, I didn't want to go to a church like Greater Mount Moriah Institutional Faith
of Ebony.
Like, I pretty much wanted name church. I knew that kind of church. That's the kind of church I was looking for, because that was going to give me like closer to Pastor Billy than Bishop Johnson.
So you want a transformation church, but you could have done like a Greater Hope church. That could have got you as well.
That it could have, yeah. So I knew that if I got name and church, I knew what kind of place I was walking to. I was looking at. No offense, and this is someone who grew up Church of God in Christ. So I went to a church with like 5. I grew up in the church with like 5 names.
Yeah.
I think I automatically judge any church that has the name Beulah in it.
There you go. Before
I just assumed that the fire's not there. Everything's a little dry in that church. Beulah just sounds old and dry. Like my internet's probably gonna get cut off again because God going because I'm saying something whack right now. But pretty much if it says Beulah, I'm just like, yeah, I'm good.
What has Beulah done to you?
And guess what? If you happen to go to an institution by the name of Beulah and you are mad, I don't apologize. I stand on what I said.
Oh, good Lord.
I like it to be something that sounds spiritual but not too churchy. So right, like Mount Calvary or Bethel, like those are names that you understand them to be religious names if you read the Bible already. So I would like to go to a church where it's inviting to people who don't read the Bible yet. But if it gets too bland, if it gets too neutral, I'm telling y'all, that's the danger zone.
Okay. Give me bland and neutral. Give me a little something on that. What do you mean by that?
What's a good if it has like Happiness Institute or something like that. Words like happy are like, or as opposed to joy. But even joy can be a little bit, or peace, depending on what it's, like if it's not like a phrase from the Bible, like faith, that's biblical enough. But stuff that gets outside of, you could pretty much believe anything and walk up in here. I went to a church like that in New York City, and I'm again using the name church incredibly loosely. There was not a scripture. It was a very but they did this part of church. Oh, they collected an offering.
Was it 2 of them?
There wasn't 2. But they collected an offering, and the woman sang like a cabaret song. I was like, what is this? I was out. I was like,
you gotta be careful with type of fruit.
So this is the kind of stuff we were talking about here. Like Derek said, he grew up in Pilgrim Rest Baptist Church.
Oh, well, his wife also weighed in. I don't want to laugh at people's churches.
We're not laughing. We just
Messiah Missionary Baptist.
Missionary Baptist.
That's not too bad. Because you could just say Messiah NBC.
Like my grandmother, bless her, rest her soul, she went to Mount Sinai Baptist.
Now see, Jasmine is right with you with the Beulah thing. My parents have a church called Mount Beulah, and it's dry.
Oh, Mount Beulah. That's a combination right there. They had some of the original scrolls in there. Moses might have touched some of those scrolls in their church.
There's a lot of church names that
the tablets.
The church is not New Age because of the name. They gonna wear suits and sing hymns, and
there's like casual Sunday there.
Like Jasmine said, she gets turned off by the word tabernacle.
Okay,
that's usually a sign.
Okay. You see, and there's also, but here's the thing, you can also go the other way too far. Those churches that are doing a little too much, Like, what are their names that you know of a church? You know, there's going to be a smoke machine, and you know this is going to be. There's going to be a lot of after effects happening.
Went to a church like that. Yeah.
So you know Sean King, right? The activist. You know, he used to be a pastor. His church, I believe, used to be called Courageous Church.
See, lots of smoke. There's going to be. There's definitely going. They're going to spend a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. That's too far. Some of those churches, though, are still.
I used to think Courageous Church was a cool name. It was different.
It is different, but sometimes it's Courageous Church. If it's called Courageous Life Institute or something like that, the farther it's got to be something churchy has to be in the name.
Okay.
If you go all the way, like I'm taking all the Jesus out of this, and this could be anything. I'm like,
yo, give me Mac real quick. That's another word right there. Shiloh Baptist. I tell you, Shiloh's another one. I'm not supposed to say that. I'm sorry. I'm
just looking at his comment. I don't know what that means, and I'm not going to ask.
See, I shouldn't have put Mac.
Shiloh was a Baptist thing. A lot of Baptist churches will put Shiloh somewhere in the name.
Okay, thank you, Mac. Okay, get Mac off the screen. We not inviting Mac. That's my fault. That was 100% my fault.
You stopped reading after the first.
I did. I saw Shiloh and I stopped reading. Like I gotta watch.
Derek wants to know what's wrong with the smoke. What's wrong with what you have against smoke? What has smoke ever done to you,
bro? Don't know. Yeah. Hey, I apologize. To all my
Darnell.
Darnell goes to some smoke church. It's just hey. However you need to engage the people, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. That's the church that has spent much more on there. When they say building fund, it's all going to the projection and the lights. That's where it is all going. It might be a cement floor, but they're gonna have the bomb projection, lighting
it could
system.
Be a barn, but you about to have an experience.
Experience. It's an experience with the Lord.
It's a worship experience.
Amen.
With electric guitars.
That's true. Darnell is right. You know, if you go up in there and it's track lighting across the top, like spotlight, you know this church got budgets.
Oh yeah, I respect it.
You know they got budgets. You know the pastors well
church like that in Minnesota. I respect it. It was a little too. It's not what I would prefer because this is what they did. It was one pastor, multiple campuses. One. I don't know. They didn't call him a bishop, but multiple campuses. So if he wasn't at your campus that Sunday, you had to watch a video of him.
Oh yeah.
I had never experienced that before.
I've seen. I've not attended churches like that, but I've seen that.
You had to watch a video of him
where the sermon would go off at different times, so the pastor could get to the different campuses. Right. Didn't TD have a plane? Somebody had a helicopter so they could get back and forth quickly enough to get between the.
I know some of those campuses, some of those multiple location churches, they get police escorts. I know that. Like the pastor gets a police escort. Police escort Sunday to get from one location to the next.
But that's because being straight up with you guys, okay? Certain congregations, as in I believe predominantly Black congregations, we don't play that whole we don't get to see the pastor thing.
Yep.
We need to see the pastor or else that tide ain't gonna be right. Straight up. So they got to, I know of a few churches in Detroit who do it like this. They time it. It's the multiple campuses.
Yeah.
Praise and worship be off the hook. Got all kinds of celebrities coming through. So he can get around to the different pastors. He cannot play a video of himself.
Gotta show up.
You know what I'm saying? And so this church that I went to in Minnesota was predominantly white because Minnesota is predominantly white. Mm-hmm. And, it was, and I was like, and people still give? This is amazing. You never even see him. You could literally never see him. You see your campus pastor.
Yep. You know, if you go into church and there's smoke and special lights and everything, number one, they don't have a budget problem.
Nope.
At all. And them people happy to give. And there's only one offering. There's only one offering that Sunday.
Before we lose this,
Okay.
If we can scroll up right at the top of the comments, Darnell Jackson about praise and worship. Before we lose, we got to talk about this real quick.
I hate praise and worship in the dark.
How do we feel about that? Because I do care.
As long as it's bumping, that's all I care about. I can't stand medium tempo worship, but these churches out here be doing it all the time. Like, how you gonna be up there for 20 minutes, not one fast song? You do your little medium tempo song and it's the slow song, and that's it. Like, I can't stand it. It's the worst.
I'm with D-Jax. I can't. I need some lights on. Give me some lights on. Are the musicians really communicating properly with one another? Like, I need as the choir come. Well, there's no. Are there choirs in dark praise and worship churches? Or they're mostly just a group of singers? Because you can't have a real
praise teams. You know why I don't like it? Okay. I didn't, because what if you're late? Like I happen to be from time to time.
Yeah. Smoke Machine churches only have choirs for like special events.
It doesn't feel good going into one of those churches late. It feels creepy. And there's flashlights. I used to be an usher at one of these. This church in Minnesota was like this. We were ushers. We had like flashlights. It was weird. I didn't like that part of it. To me, it didn't feel like I could connect. And then you can't like say what's up to everybody in your row. No. You can't make sure they sitting you in the right place. You just got to go sit down and like hope that there's like a chair behind you. I did not like that. I thought that was odd.
And I'm gonna tell you this: I done put my good outfit on that day, and I'm in the dark. So you limited the amount of time they're gonna see my outfit.
Oh, nobody there is in outfits.
That's a whole different thing.
They're not in outfits.
Can we bring Chris Townsend on the screen? Can he get on there? From
the last one? What if you're
Brooklyn Tab? Okay. Does Brooklyn Tab have Dark Sanctuary?
I've been there.
I've not been there.
When I went there, it wasn't. Okay. It was full lights.
What if you're in praise and worship? Your kids run off somewhere you can't see them? That's a good point. These are some solid questions we're asking out here. Yeah. I just hate it because as a big boy, I went to one of these churches one time. People tripping all over me, stepping all over. I'm like, hey, just let me out into the aisle. Just I sit on the end for a reason. Just let me out. But they over here, they can't see my feet. I got size 16s. They can't see nothing. The little flashlight wasn't working properly. The whole thing was a mess.
If the music is hitting, the lights don't even matter. Because I'm sure you've been to a concert. It's not bright in the concert. It's dark. But the music is hitting. So if you've been to see Fred or Kirk or anybody, like it's fairly dark. And the stage is lit.
In a concert, though.
Yeah. That's the look they're trying to go for.
Yo, Derek has a great, I think he has a great point there. It's a stereotype though, a generalization.
Lasers and smoke during worship equals coffee, donuts, and come as you are, sandals and cheese. That's the kind of church I like.
See, that's my church. Wrong with the coffee.
That's my kind of church right there.
Now that's the one part of those churches that I'm for.
I told you about the story when we first moved to Philly, right? I told you about that. I told you about that story, right, Dre? We first moved to Philly. So we first moved to Philly. We looking for churches, and there was this church called Epic Church. I was like, this is my kind of church. Name church. Let's hit it. Let's go. So it was just me and Eddie because the boys were still with my parents. Me and Eddie, we go around looking for churches. We go to this. They had church. So this is one church, multiple locations throughout the city. The location we went to was at a movie theater. So they basically take over a movie theater for that Sunday morning.
Okay.
Right. You go in. It's coffee in the lobby. Coffee and tea in the lobby. I'm like, people smiling. They all nice. They happy to see you. I'm like, these are my people. These are my people. I'm sitting there. They have praise worship. I got a cup of tea while they do a praise and worship. I'm like, this is God's plan for my life right here. This is what the Lord wants. At the end, they give you a gift basket with this real nice cup in it and a bunch of other stuff.
The gift baskets be on point. Wait, their room, like if you happen to go back into the room, like where they take visitors or whatever, anything associated with gifts, food, hospitality be on point at these places. And the kids.
The kids are taken care of. That is something.
Yes.
It's worth it for the kids.
Had their own little theater, so they different theaters.
The last service, yeah, we'll be back.
They had signs everywhere. People were happy,
and they got tight security. Some of them kids joints too. You gotta make sure I know my kid's gonna be there when I get back. Hey, somebody. What's funny is. So we actually know a pastor.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Oh, you know,
I had to go to his location. I had to go to his location.
Oh, okay.
But I found out after the fact, after I already visited, that he was one of the pastors there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, my wife shut that down. She was like, "We can't go back here.
What?
They're too nice." I was like, "What?
What?
You see somebody be mean?
Wait, explain.
You want somebody to cuss you out after?" It was that, and on top of every now and then, like. The pastor will preach a message that's really kind of for the members of the church. It's one of those, we want to appreciate the members of the church kind of messages. We want to thank you. So it was one of them kind of Sundays. So I think that kind of turned it off a little bit. And I don't know. And they were too nice. I don't know. I was sitting there drinking my tea. I was like, this is what God wants.
See,
this is what God has called me in this season.
That can be like your vacation church. The church that you go to when you like, okay, I'm a little tired of it. Where you need like your relief, your vacation church. That could be your vacation church. Everybody needs them a good vacation church. Find you a good. Here's the problem where we live. You run into way too many people at your vacation church.
Oh,
I can't keep running into people. That's the problem. So we gotta. You know what? We might have to go farther.
And then the rumor mill starts. Oh, they switching churches. I saw them in such a. Wait, this is so real. I know we have other parts of the show, but we got to get into this now. Is it okay? I want to get into that rumor thing, by the way, because that's a real thing. When somebody knows you belong at one church and they see you somewhere else. Oh, Sister Tamika. So
y'all happens all the time.
Y'all think about coming over here now? Or people just start talking. It's a whole wild thing. But let me ask you this. Tamika hit upon a very good point. Are you allowed to have different churches for different things? So like Cliff was saying, if I'm kind of laid back today, I don't want to go fully dressed up. Because I know if I go to my home church, I gotta come in there suited and booted. I'm more of a day. I'm gonna come with some jeans and maybe I want some coffee on the way in. You hit that church up, but then you got another church. If you really want a specific type of praise and worship experience that day, you go hit that church up.
After I left like I said, I grew up in Church of God in Christ. So after I left the Church of God in Christ, and I'm an adult now, I know there's lots of different options in churches. I seriously thought of, I need a football season church. I need a church that service ends before 1 o'clock.
There you go.
I need a football season church.
I agree.
Like this
could also double as your brunch.
Fortunately, I have experienced that now, and let me tell you, it's life changing. You go to church and you home, the pregame show still on. Like this.
Let me tell you,
it changes your life. It revolutionizes your Sundays, which also revolutionizes your week.
Exactly.
Chris and I were just talking about this pre-kids.
Right.
Okay. I mean, we only have one, but okay. Pre him. Sundays, we'd be in and out in an hour. And guess what? It was one of those churches where they had like 10 services. So you got to kick the people out because the other people got to go. You're leaving. You got your coffee. You're feeling good because these churches just like ooze prosperity and abundance. So you're feeling good about your life. You go to the restaurant. You ain't got to wait no super long line because guess what? A lot of people are still in church. And then, you go home. You know what we would do? Go home and watch Law and Order SVU. And, you sit down and watch one of those episodes. You be sitting there for 5 hours. But it was that will bless your soul having that extra time on a Sunday.
I got to tell y'all, I have become really used to quarantine church now, doing church online. And, I don't have to work. I don't have to deal with unprepared worship teams. But, if you sing worship, you could tell when the worship team is unprepared and not ready. I don't got to deal with that. No, the pastor gets on, says something, said maybe an announcement or two, gets into his message, and we out. And the church I go to now does 2 services. They do a 9 and 11. When I'm with family, I gotta go to 11 because these people don't want to get up, right? But now quarantine church, 9 o'clock. I'm watching it on Facebook. It's done. I got the rest of my morning. They doing whatever they doing. It's all good.
Yeah, quarantine church is on demand. I usually have quarantine church on Mondays.
If I want worship,
can we talk about this for a second?
Go ahead.
This is a real thing. I've been thinking about this, and nobody. Wait! I ain't said it out loud yet. But now with the rollout of this vaccine, and you may by next fall or whatever, we may see the top of this mountain. We may see the other side of this Corona mountain. There's gonna have to be some effort to get me back into a facility on a regular basis, because going to at least I'll talk about my church experience. That was a day experience. Yes. Like day is in, you're getting up early to get ready and you're going to be there for a while.
Yeah. And
then it changes the whole day. Yeah. But now I have a real weekend, because before it was like I had Saturday and then Sunday belonged to church and getting ready for Sunday and getting ready for work on Monday. But now I get Saturday and Sunday. Hey, dog, somebody going to have to talk about this play. Like,
quarantine church has been a blessing.
Some of these churches going to have to think about some things.
You're all going to have to adapt, but we're not going to go directly back into all the pre-corona stuff, even after there's more widespread in-person services, because you're not going to be able to do the fellowshipping.
Right.
And here, churches will have to adjust though, but this is just bringing along an adjustment that we already needed. Like, again, I go back to, I am available to serve in the ministry of Kill the Mic. This is the thing that I like most about quarantine church.
Right.
Everything is basically timed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Miraculously, no one feels the spirit and decides to turn something that should take 5 minutes into 20 minutes. Miraculously.
No half hour
that doesn't happen online.
Right, nobody's taking a half hour to lift the offering. Nobody is randomly saying, it's amazing how people don't have like these random words from the Lord now that it's quarantine church. If you got random word for the Lord, brother and sister, you can still post it on Facebook, but no, you don't.
I'm gonna get in trouble. And you know what?
This is gonna get us in trouble.
I love everybody. I mean, absolutely no shade, but we just tell the truth and be real.
It's the truth anyhow. So
I get phone calls behind
Dre started it.
I get phone calls behind these shows. You think I'm joking?
I'm just saying, it's amazing.
I believe you.
I just realized that all these people with these special words, you ain't got no special word now that we're not in physical church. You can post your special word on Facebook, but you don't, because you ain't got nothing.
But there's this one dude that I'm gonna get in trouble. I shouldn't say this. Okay, I'm gonna say it because it's good material. There is one individual that I follow that is on one of my social medias, and this individual happens to have a special word at least once a week, and they have used their socials as an outlet to get their special word.
I know what you're talking.
But you know what you can do now?
To be in trouble. I'll quit this show.
I'm not gonna say anything.
But you know what you could do now? You could just scroll right on.
I do absolutely scroll. Absolutely scroll. Done. Like they be talking. No, I gotta be quiet because somebody.
Isn't that fantastic that like all of the extra is boiled down to just truly the word?
Yes.
Which means we can do this. Everybody needs to keep that same
energy. Keep that
same energy when we go back. Keep that same energy. It's good for everybody. It's good. You know what? I'm not mad what you said, Cliff, about the 2 services. I would be happy to. I'm not sure I can make it to a 9 o'clock service on time because I'd be struggling with 10:30, I think is when my church starts. I'd be struggling with that. But look, I would appreciate, if this 9 is if you want to get out of here by 10:30.
Yeah.
The 11 o'clock is for people who want to stay till 2. Just split us up.
Yeah.
Just split us up. I will happily go. I will serve. I will, just split us up because I'm not trying to mess with people who need that, they need to simmer in it.
Simmer in it.
I'm not.
It's a lot of simmering.
No, because I was thinking Black Eyed Peas.
I need to simmer in.
They like
They
to
waste time. They like
to
time.
soak in it. But yeah,
they like to spend a half an hour listening to offer.
I don't need the neighborhood. I need y'all all to be quiet because y'all not getting me in trouble with nobody in real life because too many. You see, I can't say nothing on here because too many people know. No, I'm done talking. No, I'm not getting called in again. I'm not getting in trouble again.
I think we have ran the church now.
I'm not getting in trouble again. But all I'm gonna say is we have seen that it is achievable. And so I just think when we come out this time, the paradigm needs to be shifted.
The first time church like really opens back up.
Yep.
Like lots of people. No social, maybe everybody wear masks, but no real social distancing. So you stand on top of people. It's gonna be like 2 and 3 praise breaks at per service.
Oh yeah.
Okay, the first one.
People going to
go there for that.
People going to run up and down the aisles and dance, talking about the Lord brought them through COVID and other kind of stuff. And people going to make up these COVID worship songs. You know, these like these when they're flowing in the spirit. These COVID worship songs, like it's gonna be a whole mess.
My goal is to actually get back right enough with the church so I can get on the praise and worship team for that first service. Like I want to sing in that one. That joint is gonna go up.
The COVID worship songs.
Oh, yo, that joint.
I am here for that. Okay, so that in and of itself, yes, fine.
Right.
But that's gonna be. I don't know. That might not be till like next year this time.
Whenever it is, it's gonna be like that. And
so
God,
that's gonna be a while.
I'm praying for those of you who still have testimony service at your church.
That's gonna be wonderful.
Oh, everybody gonna have. It's gonna be testimony.
People got pent up
it's gonna be all disrupted. I know one thing. I know one thing.
What? Here we
go.
But
nobody asks no visitors to say nothing. Get back. Don't ask nobody to say nothing, and don't nobody run around with no mic.
You know, it's always that one visitor who just came to the Lord last week, but they got a fiery word
because
they think they got a fiery word.
Or how about the visitors who aren't really visitors? You just left last year.
Yo,
you went to this church for 30 years. You're not a visitor.
Let me make this clear. I'm not saying any of this. Tamika's gonna get me in trouble again. Why do I get the phone calls?
It's true. It's true.
Nobody has my phone number.
It's true.
Yo, if I get called in, Tamika, we beefing. Like we gonna have a real problem.
In the first couple weeks,
fun.
Until I get called in.
All these Instagram pages and Facebook pages that like make fun of the church, like Church Milk and Church of Laughs. I guarantee you, their views are gonna go up the first 3 weeks when we really back at church because they're gonna have so much material. And people are gonna be acting a fool.
Yo, hit Derek James. Get Derek James on the screen because this is funny. This is funny.
Derek says, "I'm getting saved during the pandemic. Their testimony is priceless material."
They got saved during the pandemic.
I'm sorry, imagine getting saved during the pandemic.
The Lord done brought me through. Oh, somebody, there's gonna be a couple of those.
Yeah.
This is gonna be.
Just assume, I may try to institute at my church. I don't have any power. I may try to say, let's have. We used to at my Delta meetings used to call us the parking lot. If you have something to say, but we really don't care to hear it, they like write it on the parking lot. It's a big sheet of paper. It's like a canvas. You write stuff down there. Write your testimony. We all got them. Go ahead and write your testimony.
That's actually
on the board.
Or when it first opens back up, each church will have like an overcoming COVID service. So not on Sunday, but like another day during the week where you get it all out in that one service. So if you want to be there, for 5 hours, you could do that. Or if you want to or it could be like a shed. You come and you go.
Here's the thing, though. Let me ask you this. You just said something that made me think of this clip. Okay, if you go to one of those churches where often,
right,
more than rarely, the spirit takes over. And then inevitably someone gets on the mic and says, if you've got to leave, if you've got to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel bad about leaving.
Oh,
one finger up.
They're like, if you've got to leave. But if you don't, I'm like, well, do I have to leave? I mean,
I do.
Cracker Barrel is only serving breakfast.
Let me put this finger up so you can't see me.
So it's okay to leave. That's all. That's all I was saying. When they say, if you have to leave, leave. But if you don't have to leave, we about to be worshiping.
I'm saying you have that COVID service, let people get it out.
Hey,
so that's a legitimate, that's not just like rhetoric. That's a legitimate exit.
Yes. I think people, now you might be judged. You might be judged if you are leaving. You might get judged. But I say, hey, they put it out over the pulpit. It's an official announcement. I'm going on. Come on. We can still make it in time for the second half.
You know what people do? Because we have a little kid. Mm-hmm. I've seen people walk out with me. I can see they're sort of
just arranging themselves around you.
Yeah, it's like your exit.
I have my family leave in shifts because like you can see me. I'm a big dude. So when I move, like everybody's gonna see me move. So my daughters are small.
You got the babies in the hallway.
I'll send them out first. And then my wife will nod to me. She'll go, and then she advertised, so you're not paying attention to her. And so she'll dip out. I'll give it like a minute and a half. I know they putting their coat on.
Now we're all going to be looking.
You're going to see me. And so you're going to see me. And so but at that point, they don't know everybody's going. They just see Dre leaving, and that's okay. I'm cool with that. But it's a strategery. Just strategery, the whole thing.
Just walk out in Jesus' name.
Yo, I'm gonna get so many calls.
Walk out with the confidence of God.
I'm getting calls.
People really calling about this.
Everybody know we telling the truth. Now, what lie have we told?
Yeah, we haven't told one lie today.
Because they're like, people will be in the audience like, such and such watches the show, right? I was like, hey, they were talking about y'all again. I'm like, okay, this is good. Because I love, shout out to my pops. My pops is probably watching. He will either call me or text me after the show. They watch the show, right? Like, yeah, you might get a call on this one. He's told me that before. See,
I'm not talking about nobody specific. Well, I'm just talking in general.
I didn't say no name today.
We've all been. Well,
this is church people everywhere.
We've all been a part of multiple churches,
multiple locations, multiple states,
layered experience. Right? Yeah. I mean, we could be talking about anything, but we have not told one lie, and it's funny. And people need this release. And look, I think that we could be more effective, perhaps, if we take some of this stuff seriously.
Now, first of all, can we get Donna on the screen because she's a hater? My own, it's your own people. Sometimes she's a hater.
So Donna says plot twist. The whole church knows when Dre leaves early.
Absolute hater.
The shift don't work.
Okay, you're a jerk.
Her profile picture fits perfectly.
Yes, that's her personality. Anyway, here's the thing: we're joking right now, kind of. Some of these things that we're talking about are really going to have to be addressed by certain churches when we get back to up and running. Yeah, because the paradigm, I know I was messing around the word earlier, but the paradigm really has shifted.
Yeah, I've seen it a different way.
Yes, paradigm, a way of thinking, a way of operating. For those of you,
that's right.
But it really has shifted, and not to be overly serious, but yeah, we're going to have to consider some new things and how we operate as a church, and the church is. Not just
because church, what's going to stop people? You're going to have to compel people
to come
back into the physical building because because what's going to stop me from doing on-demand church on Mondays like I've been doing?
Hey,
well, I think there'll always be the people who want to be around other people.
Yes,
there'll always be those people. It won't be, and I think by the time we get to that point, some people will just be tired of being inside. They'll want to see people.
Let me ask y'all this: y'all going to New Year's service?
No.
If your church offers New Year's service, you going?
No.
I know some folks who would probably risk it. Let me see when the date is this year. Oh, okay, it's a Friday. Okay, I'm about to say if 25th falls on a Sunday this year, this has been a tough time. For people,
I'm right here
spiritually, who gather. Like this is a big time for many Christians between Christmas and New Year's. This is these are all day service or they're early morning services. For some churches, these are big offerings. And so this is it's going to be interesting to see as things get, like I said, even though we're not on the other side of the mountain, people are beginning to see it, so they think. And so it's going to be interesting. I encourage everyone to use their wisdom in making their decisions.
By the time we get to New Year's, more states may be on lockdown. California's already locking down.
Well, thank you for that.
They've been like, I mean,
in New York is no restaurants are closing in New York. So, excuse me. By the time we get to New Year's,
people really need to. I mean, everybody. Here's the thing: you make your own decision based on what you understand. But what has to be a part of that is that other people. You are not an island. I was just talking to someone about this, a fellow church member on Sunday. We were talking about in my house. We were talking about how this has reminded us of how all connected we all are. And so what we have to believe and what we have to understand is that the vaccine is not some, magic scepter. Okay, this is not, Moses' staff. Okay, right. That's not what the vaccine is. The vaccine is partially going to be less effective because, as I read about it, the doctors explained it like this. It's like a fire hose. A fire hose can't do a whole lot to a forest fire.
Right.
But if it's just a single house that's on fire, a fire hose can be very effective. The pandemic in the U.S. right now is a forest fire.
Right.
The vaccine is a fire hose. It's not going to be that effective, or its efficacy will be moderated by the fact that we out of control. So people need to keep that in mind. And I get the fatigue. I'm there with you. I get the exhaustion. I'm there with you. But we just have to keep that in mind. And so I hope people aren't letting their defenses down because of that.
Right.
Because you probably won't get the vaccine until this summer if you don't fall into certain categories.
Yeah, stay home, people. That's the bottom line.
And let me be clear. I am taking version 2.0 or version 3.0 in any case, because I'm going to let them work all the bugs out of this. Have y'all seen World War Z? This is how it started. This is how all zombies started.
Many sci-fi movies. I Am Legend as well.
I'm just saying. I don't believe they putting chips in you. I'm just saying they might not have got all the formulas all the way right yet.
But they have this thing where I was reading about this today. They just approved a rapid at-home COVID test. That you can self-administer, but this one is unlike the other ones because apparently there's ones that you can sort of self-administer the test, but then you have to take it to a place or send it in to actually get your results. In order to get your results for this new test, which they think could be released as soon as next month, you get them on an app on your phone. The devil is a liar. I will not download any government-sponsored apps on my phone. I'm just not doing it. Because I'm like, so you're trying to, and you have to pay for it. Right. I'm not going to pay for it and then give you access to my data.
Aren't they talking like $100 a test or something from what I heard?
No, this is only going to be $30.
Oh, okay.
And you get the results in 15 minutes. And they're saying this could be part of the norm for before you go to a sporting event or a concert or, some big or church service actually was mentioned in the article. I don't know if I want some, but this is a private company. This isn't the U.S. government. Right. This is a private company who's developed this, and their app, their app delivers the results. So I don't know how that works, but anyway, you get the results in 15 minutes on an app, and you don't have to go anywhere. Except now, all my stuff is in that app.
And see, I'm not going to get too far. We're going to get away from the rabbit hole because I could take us down a whole rabbit hole here, but we're not doing this today. We're not going to spread misinformation that happens enough through official government entities. Hey, we hear everybody be safe, be smart.
Well, it's 10 o'clock. So do you have a take? Because
Yeah, Timmy, you got a take for the people.
I mean, well, I'm sorry. Do you have a rant?
I don't have a rant for the people. Actually, I have a thought. I had a revelation, and this is just really light, a really light one. I had a realization just recently. My daughters, children, they're not always nice, and they'll be honest with you. So I went to start my car, and they're like, "Daddy, you still have a key?" Mommy just pushes a button. And so that hurt a little bit. Okay, yes, her car is fresher, but then it really hit me in my mind. There's going to be a whole generation of drivers who don't know what a car key is. Like very soon.
Yeah.
That blows my entire mind. Like we on some real Jetson stuff right here. Like a whole generation of people who don't know what a car key is. Mind-blowing stuff to me. That's all I had. Just something real light. And besides, my daughter's hurting my feelings a little bit. It's okay.
It's like your car is a computer. I mean, they may not even have to learn how to drive. Exactly. It may be self-driving. Yep. I mean, your daughter's about to learn how to drive, but I mean, Cairo might not.
That's true. Hey, and hey, for some of y'all with them newer cars, y'all need to pay attention to what you're clicking through when when your car turns on, because it's telling you that sending all your information. Every step you take, every turn you take, it's telling you that it's sending all your information to somebody.
There is no privacy.
There is no privacy. So I love a good infotainment center on my car. My next one's going to have nothing but the finest and swipe computers in it. But I tell you what, be careful what y'all saying okay to, because y'all mad at Google, but no, Nissan knows everything.
No, Tesla knows all your movements in the car.
All everything. Everything.
Tesla knows everything that goes on in the car.
It's scary.
Yo, one last thing. Fitz, can I get Fitz on the screen real quick? His last comment. This is a real statement. This is a real statement that big boys will know more than other people.
Fitz said, talk about church hurt. Children hurt is real.
Children say some of the meanest things in the world. It was funny is, I, as a big boy, I get used to people either staring or making comments. My wife doesn't really like it. And one of the people that she has a problems with is the children's. If kids say something or stare for too long, we was at a restaurant one time, and this kid was just sitting there staring at me. And the whole entire time. And this kid was of a different ethnicity. And his parents may have owned the restaurant, and he was there working. Let's put it that way. And he was maybe around 6. I saw him working. I actually saw him working. And she was hot. I'm like, this is a 6-year-old. You got to leave this kid alone. He shouldn't be staring at you. Tell him to turn around. I'm like, you got to leave this kid alone. It's going to be okay. But the most hilarious one is just recently I was at Lowe's, and I've been on my journey. I'm doing well, down 120 plus pounds, and so I'm feeling good about myself.
Yeah.
I'm at Lowe's, right? But one of the things we've been doing is we've been doing a lot of walking, a lot of squatting. Certain things come with that. Already had a big butt. Now it's just a little rounder. This father and his son are coming past me. His dad. The boy is hanging on the side of the cart. His dad says, "Hey, buddy, watch out. Watch your butt." And he pulls in a little bit. And little boy comes past me. My butt is not as big as his. And he says it very clearly and points at me. I'm over at Lowe's looking at the little nuts and bolts. So I'm trying to act like I don't hear him. And the father goes, "Huh? What, huh?" And just keeps walking. My butt's not as big as his, though. And so the son just repeats it. The father keeps looking straight forward, acting like he can't hear a thing that he said. What are you talking about? Huh? Him. My butt's not as big. He said it for a third time. I said, "Yeah, I know, buddy. I'm working on it." I had to turn and respond to him because the dad wasn't going to stop. The kid wasn't going to stop because the dad wasn't going to say nothing. I'm like, "I know, buddy. I know." And the kid was like, "Okay." And he just went about his business. I just it was funny. It was hurtful, yet funny. B, I'm like, I'm glad funny. My wife ain't here.
In the moment, that was rude, and that's all. Kids don't do that. Not loud enough so where you can hear them and stuff like that, because they know that they'll get in trouble. It's a problem if kids don't know that they'll get in trouble. My issue here is I say I don't live in a neighborhood where anybody looks like me. Mm-hmm. And so I'm always saying hello to these kids. They rarely say hello back.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm like, hi.
And they look at you like you something out of a TV.
Some of them have only seen us on TV.
I don't like that. That's a whole nother thing.
You can't jump.
That's a whole nother thing. That's well, congratulations, Dre.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, that's great.
But hey, we all on a journey, and the kids will let you know where you are standing at. That's all I'm gonna say. Tamika, do you have a take for the people?
I have a quick little take. So y'all might have seen that there was this misinformed, insecure person who wrote a op-ed in the Wall Street Journal encouraging future First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, to drop the doctor.
Yeah, that guy's an idiot. Let's just call it what it is. He's an idiot.
He's an idiot.
Not misinformed.
He's an idiot. He's an idiot. He's a jerk. And, just frankly insecure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But this got me to thinking.
Speak on it.
Because, I've run across a few people in my day, almost always men, who are like, I don't do titles. Right. And I have two things to say about that. I'm always wary of people who don't do titles. One, you don't do titles because you've never had one worth saying. So if you don't do titles, and I mean any title, not just the title of doctor, but any title, it's because you've never been in the position where somebody could put some respect on your name. And I mean any kind of respect: deacon, minister, nurse, whatever the title is. But then it got me to thinking about people who say they don't do titles in relationships. And I thought, you know what? This is the same kind of problem. Okay. It's the same kind of gaslighting that's happening. He's trying to tell Jill Biden, the title of First Lady is much better. This other title, this just looks fraudulent. He literally said it seemed fraudulent. How? She got a housewife. She got a whole PhD. She wrote a whole dissertation. Okay. Anyway, so I don't know how that could seem fraudulent. But it's like, but for people who for some people who are dating, they like to tell the other person, I don't do titles. Why do we need to do a title? Here's why we need to do a title. Right. Because a title signifies a certain level of respect, but it also signifies boundaries.
Okay.
And if you don't feel the kind of way about me enough to put boundaries between you and other women, or boundaries between me and other men, or boundaries around our relationship, then that tells me what I need to know, which is don't ever call me again. Do not be bothered with people who don't do titles.
I feel you. I like
that is a sign of a lack of self-respect, first of all. And if you can't respect yourself, then you're never going to respect other people. That's trash, okay? I get that when you're first off in a relationship, or not in a relationship, you're first dating somebody, you don't have a title. But I mean, after you've been dating for a while, don't let nobody tell you that you want too much if you demand a title. Everybody needs boundaries. Okay? We live in a world that keeps going through boundaries. Okay? There's night and then there's day. Right? Or day and then there's night. Whatever. There's seasons. There's all kinds of boundaries that God put into the universe. Boundaries are important. We thrive under boundaries. And if nobody wants to give you a title, that's like saying, I don't want to put boundaries on this. And that's like saying, you know what? Because I don't care. I don't respect you. I don't respect this. This isn't important to me. And so skip that dude and skip anybody else because he is not alone. And I have encountered this as a Black woman with a PhD myself. I have encountered this pre my husband when I was dating. Check yourself if you don't do titles. I will not be bothered with you. Period.
It's interesting. I had this very same discussion with a lot of the young ladies that I work with at the university, and I have never been able to put it as succinctly. I just be like, hey, they shaky, don't trust them. But I love the way in which you broke that down. I'm gonna steal that. I like that. I'm gonna steal that one. Yeah.
Keeps it all clear.
The only people who don't have to use titles when you're dating somebody is the old people in your family. Because they're gonna say, does your friend want something to drink? Is your friend going to eat? So they're not going. Y'all could be together for like 20 years.
No, you're right.
If y'all not married, they will not acknowledge that person as your girlfriend.
But that's what they're saying. But they acknowledge the marriage because that's the boundary, or that's the title that marriage. That's the title that matters to them.
But when you're dating, that's your girlfriend or boyfriend. But your old family members are not going to say your girlfriend or boyfriend. They just go.
So you're right. They don't say because but that means something, right? That title. Because they like, you don't run nothing, you don't own nothing. She don't belong to you up in here. She ain't making your plate. Because they trying to remind you, but more importantly, the other person, this is what's really going on. I don't respect nothing until I see rings.
Yeah, but in everyday life, titles don't mean much to me. Like, well, I respect the person who has a title. Like, if I will call someone who's doctor, or or whatever, but like any title I've ever had, it's whatever. I haven't cared.
I don't know. For me, I didn't know people like that still existed, and the fact that he felt comfortable enough to actually write an article in the Wall Street Journal, like that was, or that New York Times.
That was Wall Street Journal.
Well, that blew my mind because I didn't even see it online first. Like I went on my app and it popped up. I was like, did he really say this? And so it was mind-boggling. But people, especially when it comes down to, and I'm going to say this very blankly, very flatly, when folks talk about you're not a real doctor unless you delivered a baby or something along those lines.
That's trash.
I tell people who say that you've obviously never have gone through the gauntlet that is getting a doctorate. I haven't. And guess what? The people around me have, and it scares the crap out of me. It is one of the biggest hazing processes ever, anywhere, period. And I've seen it break strong.
You could totally do it.
I could do it. It's just that's a lot of money, a lot of effort.
Like I'm not to diminish. There's a lot of super intelligent people that have doctorates and they worked hard, but there's also a lot of idiots that have doctorates as well.
It is, but it's still a process you still have to go through.
Yeah.
So just to be able to survive the process, people who don't respect it have never done it. And then
it was ignorant because he doesn't understand, because you know what, he was not the first. There's a lot of people who think like this. I remember there was an episode of Blackish, and not that I was into Blackish anyway, but I really stopped messing with it after this. Rainbow on the show, Rainbow Johnson is a doctor, and she had this whole thing. It was MLK Day, and she was like, why does everybody call him Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? She's like, what's he gonna do if you're dying? Throw a book at you? And so there was a whole episode where she was making jokes about this because she was like a real doctor. She was an anesthesiologist, but she was a real doctor, right? And Dr. Martin Luther King wasn't a real doctor.
Yeah, I know.
What people don't understand is that the root word of this, if you look back in the Latin, which, you know, multiple women with doctorates have been coming with those receipts, it comes from the word teacher.
Come on.
So it was started off being a term, if you want to be like who, you know, can sort of claim ownership over it. It started off being a more academic term, right? It's never been exclusively used for medical doctors. There's all kinds of doctors. Plus, it takes longer to get a PhD that it does to get any other graduate degree. Any. You can get an MD in 3 years. The average person takes 6 years to get a PhD. So it's just like all of it is hard. All of it is worthy of respect. But my thing with him is he was really trying to come at her and come at the whole sort of academic enterprise.
Yeah.
Because he's been teaching in Northwestern. You're an adjunct, clearly, probably. And no shade to adjuncts, but that's just a different level.
I love it. I love it.
And
this dude smokes crack.
And in case this idiot forgot, she was the whole she was there when he was vice president. You had nothing to say then. Like we all knew she was a doctor back then.
And she's still she plans to still teach.
Good for
and
her.
What I respect about her, I'm like, this woman isn't at some, elite institution. She teaches at a community college. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Dr. Jill. I mean, that is
very well.
Yeah, but that's a hard. What I'm saying is, but that's not a cushy.
You gotta like to teach. You gotta, because
you have to really like to teach, and that is for those of us who don't teach at community colleges. We see that as, I think, the harder work. Yeah. Because you have far more students who come from non-traditional backgrounds. Yep. You have far more first gen, all of that. And you are expected to meet certain outcomes in the classroom that people who don't teach at community colleges simply don't have to meet.
You can't just research it and hand work off to your TA and to your your assistant, or your graduate assistant. Yep.
Nope. I respect community colleges are part of the core, I think, of America. And I think that, kudos to her. And I'm glad she's just so, she's just so classy. She didn't even she clapped back at him without fully clapping back.
So Sonia says that titles aren't really important. Folk who need them often have other hidden insecurities. I understand that there's a place for them, but you don't validate me if you don't use my title. And truth be truth, it really only matters who God says I am. Okay.
Understood. Mm-hmm. The spirit in which this article was talking about, that's not totally, this.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that titles are about insecurities. A title is information, right? Critical information, right? So if you think about titles broadly, and that's what I'm talking about, which is why I included husband, wife, like titles on a relationship. If you think about titles, that's critical information that tells you what you can expect from this person. Yeah. We actually all need titles. Now, I'm not saying I have a title. You don't see me using my title on this platform, right? That's not crucial to how I show up here. How I show up in other places, absolutely, it's very important that people understand that title because that changes how they interact with me.
Yep.
And that's really important. You act different because if I'm just walking around on campus, people think I'm a student. I have been told that people like, oh, girl, I thought you was one of the students. So titles matter because they impact your ability to do your job, I think.
We here at 10:30.
Yeah, he was trying to undermine her like that.
That
whole thing. He was trying to undermine her.
That's my rant. I mean, that's my take.
All right.
Tamika's take.
What do y'all say we get out of here? How about
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
Oh, now you're talking about time. You don't be caring about what time it is when you go off one of your random tangents.
Hey man,
but
I've been keeping them shorter lately.
It's 10:30.
Just like church. I know we can do better.
Want to thank, we can. Want to thank all the neighbors for hanging with us tonight. We do this show every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Facebook or on YouTube. You can go to either one and catch us live. If you can't catch us live, that's all right. Go to turntoyourneighbor.com. You see all the ways you can catch the show on demand. We appreciate all of you that either watch, listen, those of you that are interacting with us, the people that are hanging with us on demand. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. The show would not be the same without the neighbors in the neighborhood.
That's right.
So we appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. The neighbors want us to keep going, but Dre look like he ready. He about to sleep. Eyes, glasses coming down to the bottom.
I'm tired. Yo.
All right, y'all. So until next time, I believe we're going to do a show right before Christmas. And then next week will probably be the last show until January. We will see y'all next week. And it'll be the last show until 2021.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Until next time, take care and be blessed. Peace.